This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
Hey, Dennis Carluzzo, that's a name I don't hear you dust off very often. You got any Dennis stories you can share with us?
No. Well, I do, but I really shouldn't tell them.
Okay, the next match is the main event for the world title. By the way, you can find out more about the sauce over at jrsbbq.com.
Yeah, fuck that.
Will you stop it?
Fuck him. Fuck that. Fuck everything.
Oh, this is Red Ass Bruce.
Yeah.
Okay.
Goddamn right it is.
Okay. Shawn Michaels and Diesel's up next. It's a rematch from WrestleMania 11, except this time, Shawn's the champ. So Diesel retained his world title at WrestleMania 11. Of course, it's not WrestleMania, but still, they're going to put on quite the show here.
Can I give an insight into this real quickly, Conrad? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Read the first line of that thing up here after the 1753. Read that first line.
Okay, so Shawn Michaels retained the WWF title, pinning Diesel in 1753. And the next line you want is, Michaels did an Orihara moonsault, which is a moonsault from the top turnbuckle outside to the floor. Yeah.
I mean, I had an Orihara roll the other day.
Will you stop it? You're not allowed to talk like that.
I did at Oishi.
You can't talk like that.
They got one. It's got like the lobster and the crab, and they top it off with the raw tuna and spicy tuna on top.
Let me just say, I did type in Orihara, and I had to type the whole word moonsault. It didn't just automatically do it for me, but it does say his finishing maneuver was a moonsault. So he just had a preference in his style of moonsault, I assume. But yeah, Meltzer describes it as a moonsault from the top to the outside of the ring to the floor. So the next time you see it, when Charlotte does it, maybe we could have Corey Graves.
Yeah, no. I like mine with a little Tobacco on top.
You can't say that.
Why?
So Diesel pulls off Hugo Savinovich's boot and uses it. And Michaels does the Ray Stevens flip in the corner and crashes into the guardrail. Diesel took over, chokes out referee Earl Hebner with tape, pulls the belt from his pants and starts whipping Shawn Michaels. He hangs Shawn over the ropes and he's tying him to the ropes by the belt. And then Diesel is throwing Howard Finkel out of his chair. He gives Shawn 2 chair shots to the back. He goes for a third chair shot, but this time to the head. Shawn moves and Diesel's chair shot hits the ropes and rebounds into his own face. Let's take a timeout right there. Everything so far sounds pretty badass, but this cartoon spot of I'm going to swing the chair and miss, and now I hit myself in the face. That's a little silly, is it not?
Not until you do it.
As Michaels went to use the chair, Diesel hit him with a low blow. Meltzer would say Michaels' selling was tremendous. Diesel powerbombed Michaels through McMahon and Lawler's table with the monitors flying. Michaels made a comeback by spraying Diesel with a fire extinguisher that was under the ring. He used 2 chair shots before Diesel cut him off with a foot to the face. He went for the jackknife, but Michaels fell on top of him and came off the top rope with an elbow drop. As Michaels goes for the super kick, Diesel blocks it and hit a clothesline and sent Michaels over the top rope with a second clothesline and then dropped him on the guardrail. And here's the big moment. Diesel then goes after Mad Dog Vachon, pulling him over the guardrail and taking off his artificial leg. Before he could use it, Michaels hit the low blow and used it with Lawler's headset being wrapped up in the leg. That's a sentence. Michaels then used the super kick for the pin, 4.5 stars. My God, what a match. There's so many gimmicks here. We're taking a dude's shoe off, another dude's belt off. We're using chair shots. We got fire extinguishers, power bombs through tables, and we took a motherfucker's leg off. This is a great match, but heavy on gimmicks. What'd you think?
Heavy on gimmicks.
I'm just saying, you sometimes hate, I hate all that garbage bullshit, all that ECW tables and chairs. Let my family save your family some cash. You don't need perfect credit. You don't need money out of your pocket, but we will save you money. It's not a matter if, it's a matter of how much. SaveWithConrad.com. Oh, fuck you. Sell a hole, put on an arm bar. Let's see a knee bar.
Okay, but hang on. That's what every goddamn match is that way.
Okay.
This was the only match that was this way.
Okay.
This was one match.
I love the match. I think it's legitimately, I think this and the Bret Hart Diesel match are the two best matches that Kevin Nash ever had. For me, that I enjoyed. Not that maybe other people liked different matches. Those are my two favorites of his.
I'd be up there with that. I thought this was tremendous.
A lot to unpack here. In this era, I know that everybody, especially Shawn, really liked leaning on Pat, and Pat took a lot of pride in helping put together WrestleMania 12's main event. Was Pat involved with this match?
Yeah, he was. Absolutely. And, we were there. Mad Dog, lived in Omaha and was always there, and had lost his leg in a horrible accident where he was out cutting his grass along the road and someone hit him.
Oh,
and
shit.
He lost his leg. Like, left him on the side of the road to die. And they had to amputate his leg. And so Mad Dog had a prosthetic leg, but we were I don't know how to describe the building, but if you've ever been to it like a stadium, and you know how like on the corners they have those big ramps that you just go down.
Spirals.
In Omaha.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's just like a zigzag kind of thing. And Mad Dog was sitting kind of like in between one of those things there. And we're talking to him, and I always had a real good relationship with Maurice through the years. He just was really, really a classy, great guy. And Maurice it was actually Maurice's idea. And why don't you take the leg? You use the leg, and they rip it off of me. I don't give a fuck. And we're sitting there and we're laughing about it.
Wait, who is we? He's pitching this to you and who?
Pat and I are sitting there bullshitting with Maurice.
Okay.
But we're laughing about it.
Sure.
And then we start to think about it, and ran it by Vince and said, "Hey, what do you think?"
Oh God.
If he goes, well, Maurice is good with it, run it by the talent, then ran it by the talent. And of course they fucking loved it. And it was unique. It was a different spot. It was, way ahead of Zach Gowen. And it just was sitting there and watching, with the leg. And it was, oh my God, they just took his leg off. And for those that don't know that Maurice had a prosthetic leg, it was
That's
pretty
quite
shocking.
a visual. Yeah.
Yeah. And I thought it was cool as shit.
Do you think Kevin Nash wanted to listen, he's a controversial figure. You and I both like Kevin Nash, by the way. He's a witty, funny, entertaining, hell of a guy. But he can also be a shit disturber, and in this era maybe he could be known for undermining things. But he's not going to dare try to fuck up his buddy's push here. He's going to pull out all the stops to help Shawn be as over as he can be on his way out, right?
Yeah, I think that Kevin was there to do just that, make Shawn look as good as he possibly could.
So there's no pushback from anybody, Shawn or Kevin, about all the different stuff that we're going to do in this match, including the leg. Like, I know this sounds crazy because I feel embarrassed even having to ask, but do you have a walkthrough about how to disconnect a leg? Like, in my head, that feels like something I'd want to make sure I had down pat. I don't want to hurt the guy. And I've never fucking taken a leg. I don't know how to do this, right?
Yeah, all Mad Dog had to do was unlatch it. He had like a thing that straps onto.
Okay.
And he just had to make sure that all that was undone before they came for the leg.
Do you remember the moment when the leg disconnects? Are you on headsets in the back and Gorilla for this?
And we didn't tell everybody what was going to happen.
So what was the response backstage everywhere?
Oh my God. People, just popping like crazy because first of all, you're wondering what the hell just happened.
Yeah.
Like oh my God. Everybody unanimously thought it was great.
It is.
And even the audience, you could hear the audience almost like in horror of what has happened, but then it's pretty cool. And then you realize for the people that were there locally that knew who Mad Dog was and had kind of grown up on Mad Dog, I think that they got it instantly and were happy that would understand the joy the Mad Dog got out of that spot.
Oh yeah, he had to love it.
Do
you think Mad Dog's
he spoke Pat too?
I was wondering if they went to the same school together.
Oh, yeah, they spoke gimmick, yes.
Do you think we'll see that leg on that A&E Hidden Treasure show next year?
Oh fuck! Now see, that's something I would like to see. Yeah, definitely.
Overall, what'd you like better, their match here or their match at WrestleMania 11?
Oh, this match here was much more fun.
It was so much fun. You know, this is silly, but we got a lot of questions about it on Twitter, so I got to ask. After the match, Vince comes into the ring with Shawn, and Shawn kisses him on the lips. And I don't know, that's not something that you often saw in this era. What'd you think?
Yeah, I don't even remember that.
Michaels has said about this match, it was all I could do to get through each and every day back then. You begin to realize, okay, so now you're going every month. I'm the champion. Yes, I've got an opportunity here to really solidify myself as a top-notch performer. One of the first in your houses was me and Nash coming off my title victory of the championship and getting into a no-holds-barred match with Kevin, which I just feel was a wonderful opportunity. He was leaving. It was the kind of match that at the time WWE wasn't going to do a lot. It was a chance to showcase myself in a little rougher, tougher way. So I certainly looked at each and every performance from anything that was going to make it on TV or be televised. I always thought of it as an opportunity to do my best to set myself separately from everybody else as a performer as I could. How big of a notch in the belt is this match for Shawn? Because coming into this match, Shawn had been ridiculed on promos by Brett, and in the magazines and articles and things like that. The idea being that he's not exactly what a WWF champion should be. He's a pretty boy. He's this, he's that. We're not necessarily doing a shoot brother yet, but you get the idea. And now we're sort of showing a harder edge of Shawn, right? I mean, this is not just bell to bell. We're swinging chairs and tables. Oh my.
Yeah, but I think that this was one of those that kind of put Shawn into that next level, and he wasn't just the pretty spot worker guy. And this was an opportunity to see Shawn sell, see Shawn make a true babyface comeback, if you will, but put him in a different light, and to do it with his friend Kevin Nash, and to do it the way they did it. It was believable. It made sense and felt good.
He talked about the whole leg thing. He said, like, oh my goodness, you want us to do what? You rarely even get the green light for something like that, but usually it's you as a talent suggesting it. So when one of the guys in charge is suggesting it, we're like, oh my gosh. On the one hand, you go, oh my goodness, that's brilliant. But then on the other hand, you go, oh man, is lightning going to strike me after something like that? Where does that fall on the whole karma thing? I hope the good Lord knows that it's all just pro wrestling fun. Look, it turned out great. It was memorable. I think that whole match was well timed as well, considering what was ahead for the WWE in the future. That's sort of hard to dispute. I mean, we're not quite to the Attitude Era, but the very next month, or I guess 2 months after this, is the whole King of the Ring thing with Austin 316. And this could be like, I don't know, a step in that direction.
I think so. I think unbeknownst at the time, though. I don't think that anybody saw it that at the time. It was just appropriate for that match, that issue on that night. You had all of the right pieces coming together to make the puzzle whole.
I want to mention the show goes off the air, but there's 2 dark matches after this for the live audience. So Helmsley pins Miro using his feet on the ropes, and what was supposed to be a so-so match, according to the reports. And then Undertaker would pin Mankind with a tombstone and what was said to be a terrible match. But the next night on Raw, during the intro of the show, Jerry Lawler is going to tell Vince McMahon that Jim Cornette is going to explain that Shawn Michaels is a womanizer and a homewrecker. So we're starting our course for Bulldog as the next opponent. Is this sort of the old, what would we do if he were Hulk mentality? You and I've talked a lot about the transition, if you will, from Hogan to Brett, and internally the marketing department and the different divisions within the company would have a question of, well, how do we do that for Brett? And you would always come back to, what did we do for Hulk? And in those days, you had a heel factory. So it was just one after another. Is that what we've got to do here for Shawn? Okay, Diesel's out. Next up, Bulldog. Next night. Here we go.
To a certain extent, but not so much with Shawn. And we realized we needed a little bit different approach with Shawn, not to go the Hulk Hogan route, because that had been done. And I think that in some ways, I don't want to say it was a failed experiment with Bret, but it didn't always work with Bret. We realized we had to present Bret in a different way than Hulk, because he was different than Hulk. So that playbook, sometimes you go with what's familiar and try to adapt, and we needed a new playbook.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.